teaching and learning. Teaching, learning and assessment methodology for a course like computer organization architecture. Generally it is taught at very early stage of engineering. Okay, so normally when our students are coming to engineering, okay, so what do you think? Whether they legally, can they take any decision? Legally? No. Why? Most of them cannot take decisions legally because just after 12, they are about 17, between 17 and 18 years, isn't it? So legally, they are not in position to take any decision, isn't it? This is true. So the method may be different at early stage of engineering or some basic and core courses. But at the same time, if you are teaching some elective, which is somehow research oriented or of the interest of the teacher itself, means teacher is doing some sort of research in that domain, then what kind of methodology may be adopted? Okay, the same method may not work for all the courses. Because in elective courses, if it is really new, if it's really state of the art, you're not going to get much literature, you're not going to get much questions. Okay, you will get only references and you have to comprehend everything. Okay, so here, yes, in 2021, I took this course on deep learning. Okay, so we know that there is only one book, okay, textbook kind of, but remaining things, even the syllabus is not uniform. This is prepared by us only, what we are ready to teach, what we can teach actually, what we can offer to the students, that's it. So in every elective, we are having this flexibility. We can define what we are in position to teach. So here we have used the challenge and reward policy based project assessment. Not exactly project assessment, this was complete course assessment. Okay, and this methodology was totally different. Here, I will highlight only a few points. Okay, so the class is divided into groups, with each group having 4 members. From very beginning, when we started teaching, randomly, it is not permanent division. This is not a permanent group. So what does it mean by not a permanent group? For every assessment, you may have a different group. You may have. Okay. Or means you just increase the complexity. Or you can have the group, but for the assessment, students' involvement is more. Means students are equally responsible to assess the other students. And better assessors will get some reward. Means better assessors, better students who can challenge one group in better way. So how you can challenge? Only asking the question is not a challenge basically. If you are challenging the group, you should be prepared enough. Because your genuinity will be checked. Whether you are challenging very properly or just fake challenge. Got it? So all those things have been included in this particular assessment. We did just one experiment throughout the semester. Okay? Each group will work on a specific problem throughout the semester in the form of project. So here, rather than giving the weightage, more weightage to the theory, we have given more weightage to the project. Means 60% marks will come from this exercise. Only 40% will come from some sort of real test and discussions. Altogether different. Earlier was, some basic or core course. Here the course is quite advanced. So assessment method is altogether different. Total weight of the project will be 60%, consisting of 20% each in C1, C2, C2. Okay, it includes 10% weight for the problem search in C1 and 20% weight for final project assessment. I mean, this it is project-based learning. On top of that, this RCP has been developed. So in case of project-based learning, it is not required to give the regular exercises for the lab or practice. You assign one problem to the group. Assign or they choose, and then very carefully decide, okay, you work. Entire semester they will keep on working on the same problem. Or you can have, I mean, you can suffer, but we have adopted this way. Entire semester they had to work on a single problem. And this single problem, how? They had to study at least 3 research papers, and then research papers means standard research papers in our domain, maybe CAPR, maybe BAMI, maybe TIP, these kind of journals or conferences. And then, after due discussion, I mean, careful discussion, we used to assign, okay, you on this problem throughout the semester. There is no practical, no lab slots, nothing. Main features of this CRP assessment. A random group pair will be formed consisting of one presenting group and another challenging group. There are, suppose, 40 groups. So randomly, first group will be picked, and randomly, second group will be picked. Okay, so every slot we used to pick some presenting group and some challenging group. Means we used to form these pairs. So pairing is completely random. Okay, pairing is random. So progress will be presented by one group, and the presenting group will be challenged by another group consisting of 4 students each in presenting and challenging. The presenting group will present the progress of their project in front of challenging group, and 2. I mean, it is not completely, it is not complete autonomy to the challenging group. 2 TAs are there. So, how many people are assessing a group? 2 TAs along with challenging group will do the assessment. So, TAs on behalf of the teachers. Teacher is also sitting there. May not evaluate. They are evaluated, but challenging group along with TAs. So, what we are ensuring? We are ensuring the participation of the student itself. Okay? We have, although we have given a single problem, but every time, in every presentation, everybody has to be ready. Because prior we are not giving the information of the pair. Okay? Just during the presentation, one TA used to mail in the group that next pair is this. Okay, so they have to listen, they have to understand the problem of others as well, what they are doing, how they are presenting. Means somehow just an attempt so that they should learn as maximum as possible. Not only to be constrained with their own problem, but to know about the problem of others as well. So, presenting, 2 TAs, the duration of the presentation will be 10 minutes only. Additional 4 minutes will be given only for the question and answer by TAs. During that time, discussion, only TAs will ask the question. Okay, so each TA will give the marks for the assessment out of 20 based on parameters such as progress of work, maximum 10, quality of presentation, maximum 4, quality of response, maximum 4, and team coordination 2. So if we are distributing this way, normalization takes place. At the same time, different things are assessed. So this is done by TAs. Okay? During the presentation of the presenting group, the challenging group will challenge the presenting group by posing 4 most relevant questions. Relevant means based on the presentation. One from each member of it. So there are 4 members. So every member has to ask 1 question. Not ask. They have to write. As a group, they have to write 4 questions. Okay. So during the presentation, I mean this happens. Both the presenting group as well as challenging group will send the answers to the question posed by the challenging group to only assigned TAs. Now it comes. There is a twist. You can ask wonderful questions, but ultimately you need to know the solution to those questions. Means presenting group is posting the questions to TAs. TAs will distribute the questions to, just pass the question to the presenting group just after presentation. Presenting group has to defend those questions. At the same time, during that time itself, the challenging group has to give the answer, to write the answers or to give the solutions and to set the keys. Got it? If you are asking a bogus question, means the challenging group may ask very simple question. They can do the pairing. Means, okay, I will ask very simple question to you. You ask very simple question to me. It may happen. There may be some sort of setting. So that is not going to work because the quality of questions is being checked by the TAs and teacher. Whether this is genuine question, some technical question or fake questions. At the same time, there is a competition. What is competition? If they are asking very silly questions, okay, they are going to get some deductions. Some punishment is being awarded to the challenging group. So challenging group has to challenge very hard. At the same time, they have to answer those questions very properly. So what is ensured? From their presentation, they have to learn something. Not from their own presentation, but from the presentation of the presenting group, they have to learn something. Means their work, they have to complete. Okay. For their own, they will get some credit. But for others' work also, they may get some credit. But if this credit is very low, then this is a kind of punishment because other people will get more. So, so this is the method. The TAs will judge the quality and relevancy of the asked question by the challenging group and assign the score out of 30 to the challenging group for their questions and keys. You ask good questions, quality of questions, whether this is relevant or not, as well as solution. Then you will be assigned some better reward. It means you listen, ask good questions, you are going to get some marks. Solutions may be difficult because they did not do the work. They did not do. But if they are not understanding, then how they are asking the question? No, doubt is one thing. They can search it. They are provided sufficient time even after the presentation. Getting that? But they have to pose the question at the presentation, right? So really exploiting all this. Everybody was busy throughout the time, throughout the semester. Everybody was puzzled out. So both the presenting group as well as challenging group will set the answers and TAs will just, some marks will be assigned to the challenging groups. Okay, the TA will judge the quality and relevancy of the answers of the presenting group to the questions of the challenging group and assign the score out of 30. These two questions here. Means 30 marks will be assigned to the presenting as well as challenging on the basis of the questions asked and answered by the group. Why? There may be a question that they can do some saving, some collaboration, but they are not going to get it done. If it is happening that same answers are being given or presented by both the group, then DAs are there. Okay. So thus, when they will challenge others, the total interviews. So per day, I mean per lab's law, they will be evaluated this way.
Are you still using this model?
No, we have used only once in 2021. This time we are not going to use this model because the strength is more. This is good model for smaller strength, or you can say the classes of elective subjects, maybe 30 students. For this, you can interact well because you want to fetch something good against your involvement. Okay, so this policy was followed. So here we have ensured everything. Means peer-to-peer learning, group learning. While answering, four people can interact. At the same time, there is a randomness. Next time, which group will be paired, we don't know. So that they have to be fair enough. Okay, they have to compete so that they have to ask better questions, better understanding, better solutions. So every time they have to be quite attentive. At the end of this exercise, we were expecting some publications. Normal project, we assign project, the students used to come, they just assess, that's it. But here, a lot of feedbacks are given by the students, means by their friends, as well as TAs and teachers. So that's why it was really a good policy. Okay, really a good policy, good way to learn. But somehow it is not suitable for larger class because you cannot devote much time. You cannot have the presentation for only 2 minutes. Okay, so that's why for smaller classes, this is really wonderful exercise, and we could fetch 6 papers in conferences. All groups could not do because at the end we need to reject. Okay, but 6 papers from this exercise, it's okay. So this is altogether different philosophy of teaching, or just assessment, teaching and learning. So I just wanted to discuss what we have. We have really adopted, really practiced this. But this year the strength in this subject is more than 106. So we are not following this. So we have discussed about both. Very quickly, some questions. Okay. Then the instructor. Level of efforts. So here it will be more visible because something is expunged. So you can find from the response sheet. Course name, the instructor. So from here you can know how many names the instructor is having. Okay, Dr. Satish Singh, Satish Kumar, and so many things. So this way you can find. And then level of efforts. So the first question is level of efforts put by the student. Okay. So this question is having some meaning, and this is the first question. Level of efforts by the students throughout the semester to learn something. So here the students are giving feedback for themselves. Okay. So some are putting excellent efforts, some very good, satisfactory. Who are no. Means they are putting some efforts. It is assumed, but they are very honest, isn't it? Otherwise, everybody might have given the excellent. Then, contribution to learning. Contribution to learning. What are the question? Level of skill or knowledge at the start of the course. Means what the students are feeling before taking any course. Okay. Means when they started, what they were knowing about the course. It is very relevant. Level or skills knowledge at the end of the course. If there is a difference between these two questions, I mean, options and those responses, obviously there is a difference. अगर वो एक shift होता, it means teacher is doing something. Teacher is not at all bad. He is doing something. Else the students cannot get anything out of the class. Then level of skills or knowledge required to complete the course. This talks about the rigor of the course. Isn't it? There may be some courses use mathematical derivations and everything is required, and if you don't know the mathematics, you cannot do. So it talks about the rigor of the course. And then contribution of course to your skill or knowledge. Whether you really got something, you really got some skill or really attained some knowledge or not. Okay? So this is contribution to learning. How much learning contribution happened while moving through this process. Then, skill and responsiveness of the instructor. Okay? So, instructor was an effective lecturer or demonstrator. Agree, disagree kind of thing. So, in 5-point scale, they are just rating. Presentations were clear and organized. Some rating. Okay? Instructor stimulated student interest. Okay? Then instructor effectively used time during class. Whether he was telling some story or something. Okay? Whether the time was wasted or utilized. Instructor was available and helpful. Okay? And grading was prompt and had useful feedback. So what about? There are questions. Huh? These questions are relevant and these are related to the instructor's input. From these questions, you cannot derive that the instructor is bad. Only you are getting some sort of feel. Then it talks about the course content. Means everything. Learning objectives were clear. Course content was organized and well planned. Course workload was appropriate. And course organized to all, allow all students to participate fully. What do you mean by this thing? Involving more and more students in teaching and learning process. Isn't it? So these are the relevant questions regarding the content of the course. If you are getting some skewed responses, you need to relook the content of the course. Got it? Then, what aspects of this course were most useful and valuable? It means they should write some free words. They should be allowed to write some. So, many things. What aspects? Somebody wrote tutorial test, we learned many things related to when procedure, problem, field, now, many comments you used to get. But these kind of comments are basically useless. Which comments are useful? If these are very critical. And in every subject, every year, every semester, we used to get some of these kind of comments. Okay, so they used to write. Simply you give the flexibility. They will write. They write like this also. They can write up to 200, 500 words. Okay. So, and what is this? I mean, why these things are required? Sometimes you find, okay, which part was most interesting, which part was most boring, then how to tweak the content delivery on the content itself. What you feel about the tutorials? Shall we continue the practice? Because some different methodology must have been adopted. And it must have been discussed at the beginning itself. So, people have given many comments, many suggestions, just to improve. These are not malified comments. Okay, because we have asked this way. So they are giving some suggestions, they are appreciating as well. Most of them are appreciating. But ultimately you are going to get some comments out of it. What do you feel about the continuous lab evaluations? Shall we continue the practice? This is the continuous lab. Because they are less burden and learning is happening. Okay. But yes, no, because they will write, they can write, yes. We can get many comments, but majority, yes. So you have to decide what exactly is commenting, how it can be incorporated. Next time. Switching off internet and accepting students question themselves. This is typical lab duration where they have to put themselves. In some classroom, they are having the mobile, they are using everything. So they used to write, how do you improve the course? Okay. Improve lab course structure, overall course is good, so no improvement. Means you can get many such comments. Okay, but this is for your own reference. Okay. Lot of suggestions you used to get. And then, why did you choose this course? Degree requirement. So now you can understand how, I mean, there may be many comments, but sometimes they may not be the right person to comment. Isn't it? Degree requirement. Time offered and interest. So now you can check. Now you can correlate the comment. If the person who is interested in degree requirement and giving some negative remark or extraordinary remark, that can be treated as outcome. But the comments given by the students who are really interested, okay, are really useful. So, the management cannot say that you got a bad thing. You have a weapon at the end. Okay? So this way, and really this course feedback form was not designed by me. I have taken from this MIT course. I mean, there was feedback form online long back. So they used to do this kind of course assessment, feedback. And this is not really the feedback of teachers, neither for teachers nor for the students. It is complete feedback of teaching, learning and assessment. And feedback to improve next time. So, yes, with these things I am closing the discussion. So, although it was not required, but normally every semester I used to collect it. Okay, just for my interest or my requirements. Requirements may be anything. Okay, because we have sufficient flexibility to update the course. If something is obsolete, we can delete it. Okay. So, yes, Now it's done from my side. So madam, so have a